I do not have to watch a Derek King coached IceHogs team tonight, and I could not be more excited. Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and the thing that all of you have been asking for actually happened this afternoon. Jeremy Colliton has been relieved of his coaching duties along with Thomas Mattel and Sheldon Brookbank. Derek King has been called up from the IceHogs to be interim head coach. And Anders Sorensen is taking over the duties in Rockford as interim head coach for the IceHogs. Oh, friends, be careful what you ask for. You wanted Jeremy Colliton gone so bad because you thought he was a bad coach. Oh, let me tell you. But before we get into my impressions of Derek King being the interim head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks, let's go over what the IceHogs have done lately. Now, this video is going to be fairly short because I have an IceHogs game to get to this afternoon, and again, I don't have to watch them being coached by Derek King, and I am so excited. So let's just start with the 2019-2020 season, the season that was cut short by the pandemic. The very last game that I went to at the BMO Harris Bank Center was a 4-0 win for the IceHogs. It was a Colin Delia shutout, but their last game of that season was an overtime loss to the Chicago Wolves that following Sunday. So that moved the Wolves forever ahead of the IceHogs in the standings that year, since the season was cut short right after that. So the 1920 IceHogs finished 5th in the Central Division out of 8 teams. Hey, that's not too horrible, right? They played 63 games that year and went 29-32-2. The AHL counts shootout losses different from overtime losses, so that's where you get the 2-2 from. On special teams that year, out of 8 teams in the Central Division, the Rockford IceHogs finished dead last and 8th on the power play. They converted on 11.4% of their chances. On the penalty kill, they finished dead last, 8th in the Central Division, killing 76.2% of their penalties. So that's fun. Now, moving ahead to the shortened season for 2020-2021, the Rockford IceHogs played 32 games. They went 12-19-1. I believe it took them 7 games to get their first win, and that first win came from rookie netminder Cale Morris. There were 6 teams in the Central Division last season, and the Rockford IceHogs finished dead last, 6th in the Central. But how about special teams? On the power play, out of 6 teams in the Central Division, the Rockford IceHogs finished 5th. Not dead last, but pretty close to it. They scored on 16.3% of their power plays, and that's probably just when they let Brandon Peary actually play games last year instead of being hidden away on the taxi squad. On the penalty kill, they finished 5th. They killed 74.8% of their penalties. So that brings us to this season. It is a fairly new season. They've only played 6 games so far. All 6 of those games have been on the road. The Rockford IceHogs are 2-4. They have scored 16 goals, but they have allowed 27 goals. And it would be a lot worse than that if Arvid Soderblom was not in net, because he is a rookie netminder this year, and he has faced over 40 shots in every single game he has played so far. So anyway, for the 2021-22 season, there are 7 teams in the Central Division. We went from 8 teams 2 years ago to 6 teams last season to now 7 teams. The AHL is a roller coaster. But being 2-4-0-0, the Rockford IceHogs are currently tied for last place in the Central Division with the Milwaukee Admirals. Heading over to special teams, the Rockford IceHogs on the power play are dead last, 7th in the Central Division. They have scored on 9.5% of their power plays. That is them scoring 2 goals on 21 attempts, with guys like Lucas Reichel, Alex Nylander, Nicholas Beaudin on the team. On the penalty kill, they are not dead last. They are 5th out of 7 teams in the Central Division. They have killed 77.8% of their penalties, but again, that is only due to Arvid Soderblom. They've been shorthanded 27 times. They have allowed 6 power play goals to their opponent. So before I go any further, I'm going to read the statement from Kyle Davidson, the interim GM for the Chicago Blackhawks. Our on-ice goal remains the same, to build an elite system of hockey, and we have not delivered on that. The fact is, our play and competitiveness must improve. Every game, every shift. Today's coaching changes are difficult, especially given the incredible personal connections Jeremy and others have made with our players in their development. We appreciate Jeremy's contributions to the organization over the last 3 decades, and we wish him and his family the best. We appreciate Derek's willingness to step in behind the bench as we embark on our search for our next permanent head coach, his NHL experience as a player, and work with our younger players in Rockford over the last 4 years gives us great confidence in his ability to lead the Chicago Blackhawks in the interim role. Be careful what you ask for! The last time the Rockford IceHogs made the playoffs was with Jeremy Colliton behind the bench. These last 4 years of watching a Derek King-coached IceHogs team have been demoralizing. I've seen what y'all say about Jeremy on Twitter and other social sites on the internet. You're mad that he doesn't seem very animated behind the bench. He doesn't seem angry when things are going wrong. Derek King doesn't even talk behind the bench. And that's not just me noticing it. We talk about it amongst the season ticket holders for the Rockford IceHogs. Like, did Derek King even say anything to anybody? Because I don't know that I have seen him angry behind the bench more than a handful of times in 4 years of not making the playoffs. He also just doesn't pull goaltenders and lets them get shelled on a nightly basis. Oh, and if you think the Chicago Blackhawks are frustrating to watch, wait until they are outshot double the amount of shots on goal than they take, because that is a consistent thing with this IceHogs team since he took over. Remember how I said Arvid Soderblom has already faced 40 plus shots in the games he has played so far this season as a rookie netminder? Here are the final scores for the IceHogs games we've had so far. They opened up the season against the Grand Rapids Griffins. They lost 6-1. The very next night, they played the Chicago Wolves. That was their first win of the season, and the Chicago Wolves' only loss on the season. They won 5-3. I was at that game. The next game, they played the Iowa Wild and lost 6-3. The very next night, they played the Iowa Wild again and lost 5-2. Then they played the Texas Stars and lost 4-1. And then 2 nights later, they played Texas again. Arvid Soderblom was in net, and they won 4-3. Now, look, I am not saying that with Derek King coming up to the Chicago Blackhawks, everything is going to be even more of a disaster than it already is. I'm sure that they will win games. That seems to happen when there is a coaching change. I don't know if players just want to play for their new coach, prove what they can do out there. Whatever it may be, I'm sure that they will win some games here after the coaching change, and y'all will be feeling very good. And maybe he's just a better NHL coach than he is an AHL coach. If things go great, I am willing to eat my words and say that I was wrong. But what I have seen in the last 4 years watching this guy coach the minor league team for your Chicago Blackhawks, y'all like to talk about how the Hawks brought in an inexperienced AHL coach to replace Quenneville. At least that coach took his team to the playoffs. It has been 4 years and no playoffs. And not even really close to making the playoffs. Remember how when I just read the stats to you, we started in the 1920 season? Well, I just went back to look at 18-19 just to see where they finished for curiosity's sake. They finished 7th out of 8 teams in the Central Division. So if you're mad about an inexperienced head coach, one that doesn't get all animated behind the bench, one that can't seem to motivate his players, be careful what you asked for, because at least that guy got a team to the playoffs. And last year for the IceHogs, Cody Franzen was the most vocal leader and definitely looked like the coach out there. He was a defenseman on the roster! So I'm going to end this video right here because I am very happy that I get to go to an IceHogs game tonight and not see it being coached by Derek King. Y'all can deal with him in Chicago. That team is already a disaster. There is still hope for the IceHogs. So once again, be careful what you ask for. We shall see how it goes. Don't get your hopes up. But maybe it'll go great. Who knows? Hockey is weird. So how do you feel about the news coming out today? I know most of you are going to be very happy that Jeremy Colliton is gone. How do you feel about Derek King coming up from the IceHogs to be the interim head coach? I am very curious to see how tomorrow night's game is going to go. But more so than tomorrow night's game, because he'll have like a day and a half, or mostly a full day, with the team. I'm interested to see how the next month of Blackhawks hockey goes. So if you would like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. There's links to all of the places where you can find us. If you are more of a social media person, you can follow us on all of those platforms. They are linked for you down in the description. Oh, and something fun. We have hats now! They aren't listed on the website yet, but if you would like to get one, you can head on over to one of those social media pages or send us an email. They are $40. There are only a limited number of them. We went with a short run this time just to see how it goes, see how they turned out. I love them. The logo is rubber. It's super cool. So that's fun. But anyway, I'm going to end this. I'm going to get ready to go to the IceHogs game tonight, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.